allowed to use the word free. We use the word zero premium. But if you've been
excited, she's already been on the stage, but I'm so excited to have Gaylan Hendricks here with us from the Queen of the Bundle. That's not to be taken lightly. Are you going to tell your story, Gaylan?
Yeah.
Queen of the Bundle? Yep. Okay, so I won't tell it. One of the great things with joining Integrity, I looked at this as an opportunity to partner with our competitors and to find ways that we can keep learning and building and doing better industry-wide. And Gaylan is one of these Integrity partners with senior security benefits. And the culture at Kellogg has been for many years, and some of you are participating this week, where we have different FMOs or managers that would share their ideas with everybody else's teams. Well, we're doing that now at the Integrity level. So Gaylan is here to share her expertise with the Kellogg organization as part of the Integrity family. Gaylan, thank you very much for being here.
Hey.
Give her a hand. She came all the way from Texas just for this.
So good morning. Try it again. I know I hate when people do that to me, but I know this crowd. You know, I chose not to go to a 1,600 member crowd because I wanted to be at a 333 crowd that really loves everything they do about, more importantly, who they do it for. And I think that's you. So I want to hear how you feel about that. Okay, so a couple of things before we get into the technical stuff. You know, one of the things that Kevin brought up was what we do, how we do it, who we do it for, and saving that opportunity. When you've been in this industry, and I know some of you aren't even this old, so don't come up and tell me, gosh, you've been doing this longer than I am old, because I hear that every day. But I will tell you this, I love this industry. I've been doing it for 39 years, May 12th. And what I love is what we do for the people who are sometimes government doesn't think need our help. It wasn't until we started this response and this conversation and this communication that they really found out how important each and every one of you are to the equation. And sometimes you got to lose to win. So we might have looked like we were losing a little bit, but my goodness, what did we win? And I will tell y'all this, I was that person, I was talking to some people earlier about being in my 40s. I went out on my own, I built a multi-million-dollar business. When people told me I couldn't, I wouldn't. Mandy's with me today, Mandy's worked with me a long, long time. And I love when people tell me I can't do something. Because let me tell you something, as much as I love our carrier relationships, they hear this from me every time I'm in a boardroom. They would not be in business without each and every one of you. Because our clients don't even know where Aetna's headquarters is, where GTL is. Right? Right. Okay, this is interactive, so y'all can cheer when you want. We're fighting for it. But how many of y'all are members of NABIT? Okay, I went up there, as Kevin was talking about, and the reason I'm talking to y'all about this right now is because I always promised Kevin, I'm going to talk to y'all like I talk to my agents in my office. See, I had 10 agents that would average anywhere between 2 to 4 sales a call. Not everybody was a sale. Don't go there on me. But when we got somebody interested, we sold them 2 to 4 policies. One of the best compliments I ever got from Kevin Owens, I had met Mr. Kellogg, which, by the way, I'm giving $500 to the food packaging thing. So I want all y'all to do the same thing. But I want to stress what he said. He said, I used to drive up to a trailer. You know, when we talk a lot, people don't think we listen. Y'all ever been accused of that? Yeah, me too. But he says, when I would pull up to a trailer, I would see that trailer as a one app trailer house. But after talking to you and after talking to Ron and being under his leadership, those trailer homes are now 10 app homes. And he said, what was so sad is I forgot to sell them life insurance. And I did a mailing, and in came this customer. And I'm like, dang, I'm quoting, paraphrasing. But he said, I went back out there and wrote 2 final expense apps. Is that right, Kevin? Yeah. So when we listen to our clients, we do for them what their children want us to do. Do you know how many children would rather buy a Medicare supplement and split the premium on mom and dad than a Med Advantage plan? See, that always gets that quietness there. I do that for shock value. I'm trying to revive your heart a little bit so you'll get as much as you can out of this presentation today. But I promised when I was here last year talking to the FMOs, GAs, and MGAs that we would have our website live and ready to go, and we do. Everything is in one place, and because you're my partner, each and every one of you in this room is my partner. You're not a downline. I'm not an upline. I'm the queen of the bundle, not Queen of England. We don't have monarchies. We have partnerships. And I said that long before I became an integrity partner. And the reason I became an integrity partner is all the people I partnered with for years were there. And I love working with people I love. So I'm going to try to do this. I don't know if I'm driving right. Where'd the computer go? Who took my tool?
There you go.
Oh, there we are. Okay, well, are y'all driving or am I driving? I'm driving. Okay, I got to see what I'm talking about, but I don't see it here. There we go. Okay. So this happened to me in this great state, this 30, 60, 90 presentation. And I'm going to try to go back here a little bit. I don't know if y'all can see that real well, but we're going to manage.
Yep.
This was called the 30, 60, 90 because there was a top agent in the room. And he literally said, I am the top MA agent in the state. But everything I've ever done has always been easy. I'm a good salesperson, but now that I've been doing this for 5 years, I haven't been asking for any money. I want to learn how to go back and ask for budget. And I go, well, you need to do that in order to take better care of your clients. Because you do realize when you're selling an MA plan, it does really well in the hospital. But where you're having problems is when you've got that person that's 50 years old or older, and they get the 87% that gets diagnosed with cancer. When they walk into the oncology clinic, like my dad had to do, and they're asking for a big amount of money, who pays that? So I am a type A person just like y'all. That's why I speak agent very well. So I'm going to wrap this background where I started. NABIT. I asked how many of you were in NABIT. When I was there fighting for our industry, there were very few carriers and very few agents. And an agent got up to the mic and her words came out of her mouth to the CMS folks, I'm just a broker. Well, I was going to sit in my hot little seat and not say anything and be the good little girl, you know. And I hear just a broker, and I'm beelining to that mic to talk. And, of course, there's a line of 10 people, and they're like, we don't know if we're going to get to all of you. And I'm like, you're going to get to me because I'm going to tell that girl she is not just a broker. None of you are just a broker. You become part of that family. When they get diagnosed with cancer, who are they going to call? It ain't Ghostbusters. It's y'all. They're calling you. They're not calling the carrier. They're calling you. They want $3,500, my MOOP. I don't even know what a MOOP is. Yes, I know you read disclosures. But when they hear 20%, they don't hear the maximum out of pocket per year. So a cancer plan is needed. They don't realize what it costs when they get in the ambulance to go to the hospital. And they get a bill for it. They don't understand what the co-pays are because all they heard was zero premium, and that turns us who really truly care, and we're not the person that's the one-hit wonder when they call the 800 number that says, what is your MBI number? What is your date of birth? What is your zip code? This is your plan. That's not what this room does, but that's what we've been depicted as. Now, how many of you remember the 80s? I know some of you were born in the 80s. Okay. Hey, I make this fun. I quote my friend Anthony Chapman. If you ain't funny, you ain't in the money. So here's the deal. There were a lot of great songs in the 80s.
Yes, there were.
But I can't tell you who sang most of them. Because MTV came along, right? And it got our attention. And we were always like, that's a great song, that's a great song, that's a great song. That's what those TV commercials are doing. This is a great deal. This is a great deal. Call this number or call that number. You are not just a number. You are somebody that matters in their family. You are more important in that family than their doctors. Because one thing I've learned, and all of you have learned, is doctors don't work for free. How do they get paid? I know it's early, but y'all should know the answer to that. Insurance. Who's putting the insurance in the homes?
We are.
I'm giving y'all the answer. Right, I am. That's right. You are. So when they get this most important moment, one of the things we determined in our office was we had to establish credibility not only with the client, but we had to establish credibility with their children. So the way that you overcome decisions is not at the end of your presentation. I don't read slides. I hope y'all aren't disappointed. You can go out there and do that on your own. You all passed the insurance exam, right? Okay, you know how to read. So these three objections come up in anything you sell. You overcome these as you're talking, not selling. Selling has become this bad word. But you tell me anything you've done business with in the last 24 hours, and you were sold. I was sold an $8 cup of coffee that used to be $4. Right? Everybody buys from a salesperson. But our clients, when they wake up on Saturday morning, they're like we are. They want the warm, fuzzy feeling. They want to go buy a house. They want to go buy a car. They want to go buy their grandchildren stuff that your children are going to put out in Goodwill in 3 weeks. I know, I can attest. We sell what is needed. We sell what is used. But you people in this room, if you don't hear me on anything else today, you are the best thing that happened to that family ever. Because you're a protector of their assets. You're a protector of their Social Security income. We sold more Medicare supplement in our office because we started asking, who does that burden fall on? Who helps you make these decisions? I've already come over. I can't afford it. I have to talk with somebody. Who's going to pay that for you? By asking 2 questions. They don't say to me at the end, I got to talk to John, my husband, because I've already asked them, who helps you make these decisions? How many of you, and be honest, when you're talking with your client, do an assessment and say simply, who in your family has had cancer? Couple. Those of you that didn't raise your hand, write that down. The Kellogg Group puts this on. The all-stars next to you of this team are your coaches. That's why this bill that we fought is so important. A lot of people didn't even know me prior to 2020. The only reason I went out on social media was because I was like, how in the world am I going to stay married to this man who I have not worked with 7 days a week, 24 hours a day in the same house? So I decided to get out and talk to all of y'all. And then I found out agents weren't being coached on what's in it for them. Yeah, I said that. What is in it for you? One of the things that I told the Ways and Means representative when I was in Washington was I said, let's talk about your grandmother, your grandfather. Do you know what kind of insurance they have? No. I guess my mom or dad does. Well, what happens if your mom and dad aren't there? My nieces are who helped me with my mom. My dad died of cancer. And let me tell y'all why I'm so passionate about why I do and why Flo at Progressive's legal team didn't like me. I wake up to a Super Bowl commercial and I hear Bundle Queen. Like, what? No, they don't get to use that. That's my trademark. So that night, and y'all know how nothing ever dies on the internet? Well, that commercial did. It came back out the next day after, and totally a new commercial. It was the one with the twins, where she goes to the front door and she's got the baby. You know the one I'm talking about? But immediately when I said, you're using my trademark, Bundle Queen left the program. Because what we do is better than bundling. We are building valuable, and hear me when I say that, valuable packages of protection. And all of this package of protection is health insurance. The TV does a really good job of selling hospitalization, food, benefits that you and I couldn't offer, or it would be considered rebating. That's one of the things that the government asked me about. They go, hey, we heard you say that this is considered rebating. I said, well, it's not for you, but it is for me. It is for every single agent. And the man looked at me and goes, yeah, you're right. It started a communication. Right, wrong, or indifferent, it needed to happen. Some of the best things happen in your family unit when you talk about it. So I'm glad CMS is starting to talk to us and starting to have conversations with us, because during ACA, they didn't do that. They didn't talk with us. They created something that failed. And they still try to fix it every day. But CMS wants to get rid of the same bad people you and I want to get rid of. And I applaud them for that. But we've got to keep communicating to them. Y'all got to keep being out in front of your legislators. You got to keep telling them what you do for their mom, their dad. When I had the pleasure or displeasure of suing the federal government to keep hospital indemnity in the marketplace, the Wisconsin Deputy Insurance Commissioner came to my rescue, because he and the Wisconsin Insurance Commissioner both had fathers that were dairy farmers. And they did not realize that their fathers were being sent to Medicaid. Then they would get a Medicaid application. And you know what the very first question on the Medicaid application is? What are your assets? Oh yeah, I'm going to sell the way I make a living to buy health insurance? No. So we had to educate them. And we won. We won in state court, and then we won in the appellate court. Unanimous.
Nice.
So I tell you that not to be braggadocious. I tell you that I fight for you. I fight for my dad, and I fight for my mom. Every time a cancer policy is written, my dad lives. My dad was diagnosed with cancer at age 52. He did not make his 53rd birthday. He was given 6 weeks to 3 years to live. I had been talking to Aetna about what I had passion about on this product, And I also met with Aflac last week, and Aflac was the same. They were like, your passion for this program is over the top. We love that. And I go, the reason it is because I lived it. I lived it. I watched my dad die of financial stress, not of cancer, of how am I going to support my family. We've had this program with Aetna since 2013. They were writing a little under $800,000 a year in annualized premium. Now we write in excess of $1 million a month of annualized premium. And that's not because I'm sitting in some office signing everybody's apps. That's because of you. It's because of other agents across the country that are calling walk-in leads and say, hey, your agent put you in a great Med Advantage program, but what did he or she do about the large out-of-pocket if you're part of that 87% diagnosed with cancer over age 50? You just turned 65. You sit in that category. If you're male, you have a 1 out of 2 chance. If you're female, you have a 1 out of 3 chance. See, I know that like I know my name is Gaylan. And Aetna followed me down a road, and they believed in me, and I was the first one that had a proprietary product with Aetna, and I was this little girl over here in Fort Worth, Texas, that nobody knew her name. That's why I'm telling you, everybody in this room matters. You speak enough, you talk enough, you do enough, you fight enough, you give back enough, you care enough, you will win every day of your life. My dad got one thing wrong, and some of you have heard this, and I appreciate all of you coming up and telling me you watch all my stuff. I really do appreciate that. My dad was a debit agent. They work really hard for little money. And he says, I want you in the ordinary business. That's what this is called. But y'all, he got that one wrong. We are in the extraordinary business.
Yes, we are.
We get to help. We get to be there when those kids call us. And I've had people come up to me and say, hey, I switched my client out of an MA into a Med Sup because her kids wanted to split the premium, just like you said. I never asked for that. And she ended up going into the hospital. They were out of pocket nothing. Nothing. Then I had a client walk up to me with an MA client that said, hey, appreciate you talking to me about the cancer plan and the short-term recovery care, because my client went in with their MA plan. It worked great in the hospital, but they had to go to a rehab. And on day 21, they're trying to figure out what's going on. They had a short-term recovery care plan with Aetna. And they got to put their mom in place until they could find the Medicaid pending place for their mother that I didn't have the opportunity to do. So Aetna gave a big raise to our agents, and a lot of people weren't notified of it. We're going to put that up on the board. This is what everybody takes a screenshot of, because this is where y'all get a big raise. If you write one app a week, you're going to make an extra $14,560. These are street level comps. If you make lower than this or you make more than this, don't get caught up on percentages. Percentages don't go in the bank. Dollars do. Some of you are working with people that are career-based. You're getting a lot of benefits that other brokers don't have. Some of you are working with a great partner that you want to keep working with. But know that it's around this. And don't send me hate mail or don't jump ship, because I'm telling you right now, that would be the worst mistake you've ever made. This is your cheat sheet. This is the way people buy. And I told y'all about my dad. And I basically had to start taking care of my family. So I was taking care of my young family and my sister, her 3 kids, my mom, and I would empty my bank account tomorrow to do it all again. Because I can make money. I can't bring back people I lost at too young of an age. But financial stress are what kills these people, because we're not building them the right package of protection. You're going to see a comp slide in a minute, and you're going to go, there's no way anybody sells all those products one time. I would agree with you that that statement would be true every time, but I would disagree with you that we haven't sold that package multiple times. And the reason we do is because we're really good at it. The way you get good at it is by what? Doing it. Over, I told y'all this was the cheerleader table, over and over. So these are not necessarily the order that people should buy in, but after years and years and years, this is how they buy. Okay? So on an ACA plan, and we're going to get some workshops scheduled with y'all. I'm going to put some people up on some hot seats. I'm going to teach y'all how to do this on the phone. I'm going to teach you how this is done. I've already told Kevin we're going to come back and do workshops. And if you've got groups you want to do Zoom, we'll do Zoom. If you want to pay my airfare and my hotel, I'll come to you. Mandy will set you up pretty cheap to get me there to talk to your people. But that's how we do things. So on the ACA plan, with or without subsidy, that is key with subsidy. We sell so much Manhattan Life affordable choice. I designed that plan. That plan is my child. Manhattan Life would not be the company they are today without affordable choice. 100%. Thank you. I designed it. I fought for it, fought actuaries. It is the #1 profitable program at Manhattan Life. And they put me on the map with this, so I'm so thankful for my partnership with them. David Harris is a good friend, and he goes, I'll do whatever you want to do. And the train went running down the track, and we haven't gone off of it yet. So that's how they buy that. The Med Advantage plan, that's the way they should buy. A lot of y'all are putting hospital indemnity in there. Keep doing it. But that's not where they're mostly out of pocket. We have a slide out on the website. I'm fixing to show y'all how to get to this website because everybody in this room will have to go through contracting and you will have access. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
No $59.95 a month. No $5,000 behind the agency. I taught that group, by the way. This is your deal. This is for you. This is for you to help your client. This is the way I give back. This is not one day of work. This is probably what, Mandy? 14 years. 15 years of sale after sale after sale. The year we sold to Integrity $180 million, 120 in Medicare and 60 in all the ancillary and affordable choice. I'm proud of that number, and I used to not tell people that number because I was embarrassed. But I am proud of that number today because I know how many people we've helped. And I know how many people you've helped. Now, this is what everybody loves to go crazy over. And it took me a while to get this because I was going out to all these organizations and I was like, they're not writing like we did. Well, it's because y'all didn't know how you were compensated. A lot of your marketers in organizations don't write all these products because they didn't know they could. They weren't diversified. But this organization right here, I think it says All-Stars somewhere, right? Yep. That's why I'm here today. I had so much fun the first 2 times I was here, and Kevin goes, would you come back? I go, I would almost pay you, but I'm not, to come back because I had so much fun. I had so many people coming up going, how do I do this? Okay, so if you sell, and somebody wave at me when I start running over time. I think I'm still good, right? Good? Okay. So this right here shows you what you would make on a street level comp. Nobody come up to me and yell at me for giving these out. This is just how it goes. Everybody gets these in the mail anyway. But again, I talk to all these career organizations across the country and I go, don't get caught up in percentages. I never ran my business on percentages, ever. I ran my business on how many products I was selling. I didn't worry about CPA. People used to ask me what my CPA was. I would say, a man? And they would go, no. What's your cost per acquisition? I don't care about that. I care about how much money I'm making. Exactly. I'm more worried about ROI. And there's another little acronym y'all need to know if y'all want to write this down. It's called LTV. Anybody know what that means? Lifetime value. If you start writing your clients at age 50, instead of the one-hit wonders at T65, how much more money are you making? Ding, 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 ding. Cheerleader table, want to jump it out there? You're making 15 years more income than your competitor. And all of these are renewal based. So what's cool about this slide, you guys, is I'm very conservative. I don't like a lot of fluff. I know most people think I'm a BSer, and I am. I have a good time when we're out, but up here, I'm all serious. So, there's nobody in this room that works harder than an insurance agent. You know how many carriers I talk to where they say, yeah, I went out to become an agent because y'all get all the fun and y'all make all the money and y'all hardly do anything but just have a good time.
Right.
Well, they get out there and they're all of a sudden going, this is the hardest job I've ever done. And I'm like, I love that. I used to make my staff go stand out in 100-degree hot box telephones because they would leave my agents on hold. And I would say, hey, there's something wrong with the phone system. I need you to go check it. And I would leave them there for 10 minutes. And they would be like, it was fine. And I go, no, it wasn't. It was hotter than hell, right? And they were like, yeah, don't do that to the agent anymore. The agent is the core of this business. You are the front line. You're what MacArthur said over and over and over. You keep me alive, and I'm going to do my best to keep you alive. And that's what I do. So when you look at this, there's no government plans. There's no ACA on here. There's no MA, because those are 12-month plans. They only have renewals if you do what? Go renew them. Or they keep the plan in the marketplace. Good luck with that on ACA. What's the number one problem with ACA today? How many of you sell ACA or under age 65 health insurance? You all should be raising your hand, but that's okay. I won't embarrass you. Next time, all of you will, because we're going to do workshops. Because you're going to get that 15 years of what?
Lifetime value.
Lifetime value. I love it. Okay. This has no renewals on it. Did y'all notice that? Doesn't mean you're not getting renewals, because you are, but they're not here. Because I want you to see what you're going to make in first year with all your hard work. So if you sell 3 of these a week for 50 weeks, you're going to make an extra $537,000 a year. People go, it's impossible. Nope, I did it. I did this myself before I trained others. Because I knew the more I did in a household, the more they would see me as their agent. So when you call my client, they're going to go, I'm going to have to check with Gaylan on that. Ooh, I love it. Hey, Cody Davis called me, and he wanted to sell me an MA plan. I see you out there, Cody, is what I call you. But I don't think what he has is very good. Plus, you have all my other insurance. Well, I'm sure he's a nice young man. But he's new. And maybe we need to invite him over. Maybe I could give him a job. You know, that's a great way to recruit agents, by the way, you guys. Bring them on over to the party. Because a lot of them are not being trained. A lot of them don't have a coach that allows this. Right?
Right.
This is a special group here. I travel the country. I had the fortune of meeting Ron Kellogg. I never could find myself calling him Ron, though, even though he would keep telling me. I only met him 3 times. 2 times was from a distance because I thought he was a celebrity, a legend, just like he said. But I remember what he said to me. He goes, you got spark. And that was pretty much all he said to me. And I was like, okay, well, that's something, you know. But I had heard so much about him. Todd Tippett is in the room. I heard him talk about Ron for years. And one of the things that I want you to do when you look at this is look at it this way. What if you don't sell all of these products the first time? What if you only sell 2 or 3?
Still good.
Still good. And we trademarked spouse in the house. Why did we do that? Because I want to share that with you. You get to always say, do you have a spouse in the house? Do you have a roommate? Who's their health insurance with? Do you know how many seniors will say, I wish you could write my son or daughter. I would even pay for it. I've been paying for so many medical bills. For them, I can barely buy my own medicine. Because what do parents want to do? Take care of their children. What should children be doing? Taking care of their parents, right? Over in Thailand, that's a big deal for them. They take care of their parents. So when you ask somebody who helps you make these decisions, you're going to get about 70% of the people that go, well, my son and daughter are Janie and Jack. Okay, what's Janie and Jack's phone number? Your job's not to remember this. My job is to teach them just like 2 simple things, because I'm pretty sure if Janie and Jack are the ones that help you make these decisions, if there's an out-of-pocket to be paid, Janie and Jack are going to have to pay that, right? Well, I can't. That's why I have 0 premium. I can't afford anything else. Well, Janie and Jack would rather spend $1 a day than pull out of their 401k. So let's go ahead. Let's get them on the phone. And then what y'all are going to find on the website, y'all are going to find our declination form, and you're going to find our thank you letter. When we do business with a client, we're going to fill out a thank you letter for the client and for the people that help her make the decisions, and we're going to send that to them via email or mail. Now what have we done? We've established credibility. We've also done something different that they've never seen an agent do. Right?
Yeah.
Do you think the MBI number guy on the 1-800 is going, hey, give me your email address. Let me send this out to them. No. And if y'all aren't calling them during AEP, you should. I call them about 3 times a week. Because I want to hear what they're saying. We got rid of the Joe Namath commercial, but we didn't get rid of that problem. Okay? So that's really important. 12% of seniors have dental, vision, and hearing. 20% of seniors have life insurance. You know why the numbers are so low? Not because they don't need it, because 1 out of 1 still die, right? It's because when they retire, they're told you can't take these 2 products with you. So they think they can't buy it. So this is a slide for y'all. How do I go backwards? Okay, let's see if I can make it go. Yay! I'm getting better and better every day. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all something. This is for everybody in this room. You can use this particular slide in selling, but this is for you. Now think about it. Those of you that have ever driven in Dallas or Houston, y'all get this. Atlanta, they drive like crazy people. So you think they're filing on their auto policy all the time. But this stat pool is 5,000 people ages 18 to 89. And you'll see that they file on homeowners and auto 0.04 and 0.06% of the time. Not 4 and 6%, 0.04, 0.06. Now, if you sold those same clients a cancer policy, they would file on it 40% of the time. Long-term care, short-term recovery care, home health care, OmniFlex with Manhattan. If you've not taken a look at OmniFlex, please do. 70% of the time. Dental, not dental, vision, and hearing. The dental program I designed at Manhattan Life is one of the best on the marketplace. They allowed us to keep both policies, the legacy and the new one that covers majors. I'm a fan of the legacy because I think it's a better value. You are literally paying $1 a day. And those of y'all that think buying a $1,000 a month dental plan for $34 a month is a rip, you're wrong. You get to make a ton of money. You know what your client does when they have a toothache and they've got 0 premium? They get sick. And they wait for that tooth to rot out because you didn't care enough to ask them. Instead, they're getting a care credit application. I saw some of you agents going, oh, that's crazy. No, pardon me, but you are. Because you're not sitting there with a tooth rotting out of your mouth. You want that $1,000. You get to use a network and negotiate the price down. These plans are cash, so they work in conjunction with their MA plans. And guess what? It doesn't matter what their MA plan paid. They're still going to get their $1,000 minus their $100 deductible. $900 for that family goes a long way. A long way. You got to start thinking for your customer and not about your bank account. Your bank account should be fat and happy with all the work you're doing. How many of y'all work at least 40 hours a week? Okay, take 500,000 and divide it into 40. What are you making an hour? 40 times. Y'all know how to do the math, right? I'll step you through it. 40 times 52. When you do that, you figure out how much you're making per hour. Your client needs your total attention during that hour that you've given them. Make sure you're going through all of the things. Do you have $1,000 here for a tooth rotting out of your mouth? That's how you talk about it. You don't say, do you want dental? Do you want nursing home? Hell no, I don't want to go into a nursing home. Do you want cancer policy? No, I don't want cancer either. It's what do you have for cancer protection? What do you have to protect your assets? What do you have to go into a long-term care that's like a Ritz-Carlton instead of somewhere you wouldn't leave your dog? So here's where I'll close. This is the hardest part for me. Losing my dad from cancer was terrible because it was hard on my mother. But when my mom got really sick from rheumatoid arthritis, osteoporosis, brittle bone disease, and then later a series of UTIs because she was left in a rehab lobby for 36 hours in a wet diaper that caused an onslaught of UTIs. It ruined her kidney. The doctor was pretty sure it was cancer when he took it out, but he opted not to tell her because she opted to go on hospice because she didn't like that nursing home she was living in. If I'd have known more, if I had somebody educate me more, I would have known about home health care. I knew about long-term care, but it was boring when I was growing up. And I can't tell you how many of those I walked out on, but I can tell you today, I would get rid of MedSup, MedAdvantage, all of that, because I know how to negotiate Medicare. Been doing it a long time. Most people can't. But I'm going to keep my Billy Bob's Country Club tickets and my Ritz-Carlton long-term care. That's how I'm going to live out the rest of my life, hopefully with my MedSup. God's been good. But our seniors are not always in that place. Their children are not always in that place. But when you do an assessment, and we have a video on the website that teaches you how to ask all these questions, just the way I do it, just the way I've trained it for what, Mandy, 350 days a year? Mandy got to sit next to me and watch me train agents on this, and we still hold the record for having the most ancillary sales in a week with 5 people. We wrote over $1 million that first week of ACA with 5 agents. That's a lot of business. But I still have agents go, we don't need that. So I want to stop here a minute, and I want to ask you in this room. So all these plans right here, you can write on yourself. And guess what? You get paid. All these plans right here, you can write on yourself, and you get paid. When you ask your client how much cancer protection do they have, you know what they typically come back with? I don't know. How much do you have? None. I just think you need it. That doesn't work. Short-term recovery care, home health care. I had a social worker talk me out of taking care of my mother in my house. Had I had a home health care policy, he wouldn't have won that battle because I would have known better. Give your clients your time. So I want to stop here just for a minute and tell you, first of all, thank you all for what you do. It's really hard to get yes, but it's so powerful when you do. Because if they trust you once, they'll trust you again and again and again. And that is how you protect your clients against the worst things that they dread turning 65. When you turn 65, that should be a happy time. That's why it was called the golden years. You've worked all this time to get there. But then you get riddled with sickness because you didn't have the proper package of protection to take care of you. Most brain tumors are detected through an eye exam because people think they've got a headache because they haven't had their eyes checked. Cardiac illness is most described through a dental exam because they realize it's not their teeth. They've got something else going on in their system. 12% of seniors over age 65 have it. That just opened you up a huge marketplace. You are valuable in your community. And I appreciate you having me. I appreciate every one of you not being on your phone. I look out there. I didn't have any sleepers and I didn't have any phone people. And that means the world to me. Not because you're paying attention to me, but because you care about the very people that we're supposed to care about. And I know faith is kind of a politically correct thing right now, but you know what? God says we should take care of widows, widowers, and orphans. And I believe that's what each and every one of you do every single day. So thank you for that. And thank you for taking care of our veterans. If you're a veteran in this room, would you please stand? Thank you for your service, and thank you for everything you do. Agent Orange is real. And our seniors need that short-term recovery care, home health care, especially the veterans. Thank you all. Y'all have a great conference, and I appreciate it.